Hi, here we are again, me and my friend Betty. We've been asked to take a caravan up to Cape York, and we're just about to head off to Sydney to pick it up. The management of Gazelle Caravans in Sydney reckon they got a caravan down there that's strong enough to go to Cape York.
From the Archer to the Lockhart River turnoff is 22 kilometres. Frank must turn right off the development road to get to the Wenlock mines. The road is not much better than a bush track. "26 kilometres heading towards Lockhart, you'll cross the Wenlock River. Soon after crossing the river, turn immediately left. Continue on 100 metres and you'll see a grave on the left-hand side. It's an old miner's grave. Leaving the grave, veer right and go another 2 kilometres to the mine ruins. As they approach the mines, Frank and Betty are astounded with the old machinery scattered around from days gone by, and wonder how it got there and how it was erected, as some of the parts weigh tons.
Yeah, you missed it.
You're in a big front of a great big rock. You're going to hit it.
Rock.
A rock, a big rock. Right. Oh, it's going down with you.
If heading to Cape York, turn right from the Bamaga turnoff. It's a further 73 kilometres to the Wenlock River and the Moreton station. This is where Betty and Frank are intending to spend the night. As they approach the Wenlock River, Frank notices a few people watching to see if he can cross with his caravan. He does with ease, as the river was the lowest it's been for many years. Not so on their return trip, however. Frank can't emphasise enough how the conditions can change on the Cape. These vehicles have been stuck here for 7 days and were desperate to get across, as most people were running low on food and fuel. And without a way across the Wenlock, the only other fuel was a Bamaga, which was impossible with their low supplies. They could never make it that far. With only one way to go, a determined four-wheel driver set out to attempt the Wenlock River crossing with a snorkel on his vehicle. He was confident he could make it. Unfortunately, halfway across it started to float. The recovery vehicle couldn't pull him out fast enough, to the relief of the driver. The hero of the day was John Hardacre, manager of Moreton Station.
Okay!
John, watch out now, eh?
Push the cable behind you, John. Out of the way, Alexander. Get up there out of the way.
There she goes for me.
Well done. Didn't have much of a say.
In total, 36 four-wheel drives were marooned at Moreton Station. It's ironic that 10 days before, Frank and Betty were sitting in Cowan, Homestead, reading an article on how easy and how effortless two-wheel drive cars had driven to Cape York. They implied that Cape York was a Sunday drive. How fortunate for them they're not here now. After speaking with a high-ranking police officer and other locals, Frank certainly would never recommend a two-wheel drive car do this trip. Betty admitted later she couldn't sleep the night before the crossing, as she was terrified, and so were a lot of people. Frank and Betty would like to thank John Hardacre once again for his assistance in getting all 36 vehicles across safely. They travel along the new development road another 21 kilometres to the Nixon turnoff. This section of road has turned into large dust holes. Even though he's taken by surprise, Frank manages to manoeuvre his vehicle in two-wheel drive through the soft section of road. When doing this section of road, it's most important to keep an eye on the weather. If you're unlucky enough to encounter the rain, as this tag-along tour did 2 years ago, you could find you spend a whole day just crossing the Harmer River.
Okay, people on the front for us, please. Got a ballast? One, two, three, four, out!
Now this road's in quite reasonable condition. After joining the old Telegraph Road, Frank travels 7 kilometres to the picturesque Cockatoo Crossing, where they intend to spend the night. The development road continues on to the left. Frank and Betty go straight another 50 yards down the old telegraph track, then turn right to Fruitbat Falls, which is a further 2.6 kilometres. It's only a short walk to a fantastic swimming spot. But there's no camping at Fruitbat Falls. Fruitbat Falls is a national park and has a lovely picnic area. It's only 7 kilometres to Elliot Falls. Elliot Falls is 1.5 kilometres to the right off the old Telegraph Road. There are toilets and camping bays, also a picnic area at Elliot Falls. When Frank and Betty leave Elliot Falls, they notice an old telegraph shed which can also be used for camping. 100 metres below the shed, there are some crystal clear champagne pools. Now the car and caravan are going through some of the most difficult sections of the road on the Cape. After the Champagne Pools, they encounter another creek not far up the track. Even though Frank has taken every precaution possible, the Caravan still hits a few rough patches. As they drive into Seisha Village Campground, Frank and Betty are greeted by the proprietor, Dan Lennox, who's surprised to see a caravan of this size at the top of Australia.
Seen any bigger vans?
No, not as big as that. Not up here, not towed up anyway.
Yeah.
They normally come up in the barge.
On the barge, yeah. Oh, that's good.
No, that's good.
These are the...
We got her up here, okay?
The
Come and have a
first.
look inside.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put your name on the side of it.
Just sign your name now.
What's the date for today? 8th.
8th.
8th. Oh, we need to keep this
We're
dry.
having trouble with the rain, mate. Well, we eventually got this caravan up to Seisha. And now we're just going to have this one little glass of champagne to celebrate. It's really been a hard job getting it here. And thanks for the girls and all of our film crew and our sponsors. We couldn't have done it.
Here.
Yeah.
Cheers. Oh, fantastic.
Hey, old champers.
Great. Cheers.